A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll start with a small background of how we, organize the whole social media movement for India against corruption. It dates back to sometime in October 2010 when we met the activists of civil society and we decided to have a campaign on Lokpal. I was kind of given the responsibility of handling the social media part. I created the Facebook page and the Twitter handle, the @janlokpal Twitter handle, and uh, I kind of worked independently in the sense uh, the message was to get a Jan Lokpal or to get a strong ombudsman bill. And apart from that, we used a lot of innovative content, videos, poems, even jokes, to get people hooked onto our social media pages, our Facebook pages, our Twitter handle, to get more followers, to get more fans. And on 30th January last year, we planned a rally in Delhi. So there was to be a march against corruption from Ramlila Maidan to Jantar Mantar. And the march was to happen in Delhi. Now, we kind of put that information on Facebook page and you know, we got a lot of inquiries, and a lot of people were also like keen or showed some interest that they wanted to take part in such a rally or in such a march in their own cities. So, on the Facebook page itself, we started scouting for volunteers, for volunteer leaders, for coordinators, and in about a month and a half, we had more than we had coordinators in more than 60 cities across India and 4 cities in US. So on 30th January we actually had a 60 citywide huge rally, which kind of gave us the confidence to aim bigger, achieve more. By April, before Anna started his fast on 5th April, we, on the strength of social media, internet, email, all those things, we had a huge network in more than 300 cities, coordinators, appointed coordinators, not really appointed, but, because it's an informal organization. It's not even an organization, it's a movement. So we had presence in 300 plus cities in India, around 100 cities across the globe. We had our coordinators, volunteers, a huge, mass of people willing to come onto the streets on 5th of April. Well, the mainstream media did the rest. From 5th April, Anna sat on a fast, and the rest is history, as they say. Now, on our social network, we as I said, we did a lot of innovative content, things that mainstream media might not do. And again, mainstream media is not our real media. It cannot be our real media. I mean, it's a large chunk of the revenues come from the government, DAVP, government agencies, PSUs. So you cannot expect them to be fair and independent and impartial, and so we needed our own media, and social media really helped us create this kind of awareness to to reach out to people, to increase, you know to reach more and more people. And it's a democratic medium. It's very user driven. It cannot be influenced by by some agencies or by the government. People have their opinion. I mean, it's the people's opinion that matters. So, as I said, in April we had a huge network and everything. From April till August, we kind of, worked on propagating the message of, came back to the social network, tried and getting more people in the loop, trying and getting, more organized for the August agitation. And even in August, we did a lot of, you know, crowdsourcing and, organization through Facebook and Twitter handles, because our Twitter handle was being consistently followed by mainstream news, mainstream channels. and whatever we would post on our Twitter handle would end up in the in the news stickers in on Times Now or the news channels. So that the mainstream media actually gave us the multiplier effect. So we've like experienced the role of social media and the power of social media in not just in social movements, but there have been other instances as well. And since I'm going to speak on e-politics and the impact of internet on the business of politics. Uh, there's just one fact I'd like to share with you. In terms of mainstream media, we have more fans and more followers, and in terms of sheer numbers, we are larger than Indian Express. So that's the kind of influence we have. In the let's say the we are among the top five most influential brand on Twitter. First is NDTV, second is CNN IBN, third is ESPN, and we are the fourth, and we generally keep climbing till second or third. So that's the kind of strength we have on social networks. Now, social media is a very very democratic medium. Everybody has a voice, and I really feel that but once this 4G is rolled out, which is later this year, that's what I've been reading in the news. So once the connectivity part is sorted out, and every person, or let's say the last mile connectivity is there, and everyone has access to cheap tablets, cheaper instruments. Uh, that could be one game changer. That's something I can foresee, and caste, corruption, religion, regional issues, local issues, they all will contribute, they all will continue to rule the political scenario for a while. But by 2019, the digitally connected, the number of people who will be digitally connected would be through internet, through broadband, would be somewhere around 28 crores, which is obviously middle class and upper middle class, which, as Paranjoy Daw said, it's going to be a huge vote bank that thinks in a different way. That is completely the upbringing has been completely different. They won't sell their votes for rupees 200 or 500 or for even 2000. The going rate in Delhi MCD elections was rupees 2000. I saw that myself. People were given 2000 rupees to sell their votes. So personally I see a huge class of people emerging, which believes in democracy, which believes in free speech, and is going to be very, very influential in the coming 10 to 15 years. And they'll demand new kind of leaders. They'll demand better governance. Demand service. They'll actually demand service. They won't demand. They don't want rulers. They don't want people to rule them. The leaders to rule them. They'll demand service providers in the role of leaders. And okay, so and again, Vaishali has already spoken, and and we've very promising, very young people here who are into active politics, which gives you a hope, and uh, which is quite an indicator of things that are coming our way. And I think, as I said, the role of social media is going to grow in the future. Maybe Facebook might become obsolete, Twitter might become obsolete. There could be completely different social networks, which might be more mobile oriented, or more could be anything in, in content or, in form or in format. But, they'll continue to play a huge role, like WikiLeaks, like Anonymous India. Anonymous, government try to throttle internet, and we have a group called Anonymous, which is an international group. They do DDoS, which is delayed distribution of service. Not really hacking, but they make sure that nobody gets to access your website. So they've done it for several websites, even the party websites. So the more government tries to gag people's voice, such we'll see such voices, coming together and resisting such attempts. And I think that's all I have to say. And in the end, I'd say, we've just started walking. Social network, internet, new kind of politicians, new kind of politics. People who talk about governance, people who talk about vision. We've just started, walking, and I'm sure we'll certainly get there. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivendra.